Oh, I'm sorry, America. I didn't know the camera was rolling.
Hey, shout out Screwball. We got to find a way to do like Instagram videos before we shoot. I mean, if you guys knew how much we loved you, Screwball, we'd have been inked a 3-4 year deal by now. That's all I'm saying. And we'll earn our bonus money. We want incentive money.
America, I do apologize. You caught a bit of the hoodness of me taking it straight to the face. Pause. It happens, man. I mean, what can I say?
Well, if they've been paying attention, they would have seen the Jacksonville Chronicles.
Oh, God. If you've seen the drunkenness of the Jacksonville Chronicles, mind you, anytime you saw a waitress with a bottle, that wasn't just, hey, can you please take a picture with the bottle? No. That's because me and the person I was with probably drunk most of that bottle. So, baby girl, if you want your tip to be nice, you better take a picture real quick because we gonna drink that bottle. We gonna drink it.
Shout out Screwball. Yeah, go ahead.
Shout out Screwball. Shout out the Riverfront Bar Industry on Riverside in Jacksonville, Florida. Also, a guest we got coming here eventually, whenever his schedule aligns with mine and everything. One of my best, one of my best friends in the world. Like I said, we're going to try to keep it clean for the most part until the Screwball really kick in. One of my best friends in the world. Go check out his albums. His name is Lost Firstborn. If you love true hip-hop, if you love real hip-hop, you love musicianship, he makes his own beats, he does his own production, he writes his own rhymes. The boy got his own money. When I say if you like real hip-hop, Lost Firstborn, music is on Amazon. You can look him up on Instagram, everything else. Everything is done in his house, in his room, in his studio. Cut out the middleman, bring all the money back to the home team. So Lost Firstborn, go check it out. But he's who I was drinking with pretty much the whole time I was there. Anyway, I kind of like this whole sitting back and letting you run everything. So by all means.
So America, what I wanted to do, and it's funny, like I didn't put it together when I was talking about Patrick Mahomes in the last segment. So now you know that these two episodes will run back to back at some point. But another one I want to talk to Chris about is because it's a school that does get regularly bashed on this show based on the success or their inability to have successful players, that they're true system guys. But I kind of thought about it because I knew it would get a certain reaction out of Chris. And I think it's going to get the same reaction since he just took, that last little bit of screwball to the head. And I know he's got a fresh one right around there somewhere.
I do have a brand new bottle waiting.
Yeah, so, Chris, I want to ask you this. And I wrote it like this on my pad here. And I didn't know how I was going to finish the question, but the question's simply to have you start off. If Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray both make the playoffs this year, then, and that's how I really wrote it, America. I wrote ...
All right. First of all, Baker Mayfield sucks. Okay, I'm sorry for those of you.
And I'm already going to cut you off.
I know.
That's not why I brought up. That's not what the thing. It's not to say
I know.
it sucks.
I know, but can I not make a statement? Can I make a statement? I'm just making a statement.
Like, let's get off of sucker, not
fine.
About making the playoffs. Don't make the
playoffs. If the Browns and the Cardinals make the playoffs, one, the Browns will be out first round, and I give the Cardinals a credible shot to do something in the NFC. Like, I give them honestly, if it was either take them or take the field, like, it's hard to go against the Cardinals if they get a run in this thing because they play solid defense. They got arguably a top 2 receiver in the league. quarterback does what he's supposed to do, and like he's that type of fast where it doesn't look like he's moving, but he's steady pulling away from everybody. So if the Cardinals and the Browns get into the playoffs, if Kyler and the dude who makes the Hulu commercials get into the playoffs, I feel like the guy who's the quarterback of the Browns will get exposed. I feel like the guy who's the quarterback for the Cardinals will take that next step into like that top 10 quarterbacking echelon. Now, here's the thing. The quarterbacks break down into three tiers. Like you break 10, 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 and everybody else. Right now, even with his numbers as good as they are right now, he's about 12, 13-ish. And that's great. Don't get me wrong. But if he gets into the playoffs and makes a run, which I think they would do, he honestly jumps to about 8. And also, it makes Lincoln Riley's price go out of the ballpark for any college or any NFL team that wants him. Because all he has to say is, hey, look what I can do. Oh, you remember the Jalen Hurts kid who was at Alabama and he did good there, right? Yeah, I got him drafted. Oh, the little short kid who played baseball who got drafted by the Oakland A's? Yeah, that was me too. Oh, the loudmouth kid that played quarterback and got kicked out of yeah, that's me too. So it's honestly, if both of them make the playoffs, like it's the domino effect that it would cause would be ridiculous because Lincoln Riley's price now goes up and he can name his own, like he can honestly draw a number on a piece of paper and slide it across the table for any franchise that wants it. And it does wonders for him as far as recruiting because think about it. You're a quarterback. You go see Lincoln Riley. Just the 3 names that I named, like dude, I took a dude who was better at baseball and now he's arguably a league MVP. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even name Pat because wasn't Pat under him too?
See, that was a swerve I was going to throw to you. But you touched on the thing I wanted you to touch on because Oklahoma has been bashed on this show. And at times, rightfully so. But you can't discredit a coach that finds a way to get guys drafted the way that Lincoln Riley.
Year in, year out.
So their production must mean something. If they're still going, they still have to go do the interviews. And they have to go do the workouts. And they've got to – like these guys are doing what they have to do. And that's a credit to who mentors you. And you touched on it without going all the way in there. For me, why I put the ... If Baker and Kyrie find a way to make the playoffs, now it's going to be much tougher for Baker, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I just went and looked at the standings for myself. If the playoffs ended today, Cleveland would be the odd team out. They'd be the 8th team. There are 5 teams that are 6-3, Chris. You want me to name the 5 that are all tied with the same record right now? You'll love
the Dolphins, the Raiders.
Yep.
The Bills.
The Bills are 7-3 right now.
Okay.
And they're on
all right. So I know the Dolphins and Raiders are 2 of them.
Yep, you're correct.
The Colts.
Yep. And there's 1 left. This is pretty good. Actually, no. There's 2.
There's 2 left.
Yeah. You're killing
the Titans.
I know this off the top of your head. This is good, America.
The Titans.
You're correct, and there's 1 more left.
1 more. I don't know what the last team will be.
Baltimore Ravens.
They are. Yeah.
6 teams right now that are 6-3 in the AFC. So Baker's got his work cut off for him. Excuse me, he's got a work cut out for him with no Odell Beckham. If they had Odell Beckham, they were 6-3. Might like their chances.
Yeah.
Now, what it means to me is if they find a way to win and not only make my prediction come through that and Baltimore finds a way too, that 3 teams would come out of AFC North like I predicted beginning of the year. And then Kyler continues on the path that they're at because the only thing stopping them, they're actually winning the NFC West right now. So the only thing stopping them is themselves now. From this point moving forward to where they get a home game. They'd be a 3 seed. So what it says to me is that there's going to be a lot of apologies that need to happen on this show to Lincoln Riley in that system. Because I'm not the one that's going to say it's overrated, underrated, none of that at all. Because I know what it takes to get to that point to be that guy. And to have your last 3 quarterbacks go first round, second round. So basically, if you do that math, 4 divided by 3 is basically 1.3333. So that means you're basically averaging Now, the Spencer kid is trash right now. He's not living up to the hype. I
will say he's the most hyped out. He's the most hyped up out of all of them. And like the reason why I will give Lincoln his roses for a second. Think about the last 3. Just the last. I won't even go to the last 4 because if you throw in the last 4, that brings in Pat.
Well, Pat's not one of his, so you ain't got to worry about
it.
Okay,
okay.
I'll put the swerve on you for what's getting ready to happen. You're going to go.
Okay.
God.
Think about this.
Bless him. That's not what you're going to say, but God bless him.
Think about this. Out of the big 3 he's had, which one of them has he had for 4 years?
Ooh, can I answer?
Please.
None.
Exactly. You got Jalen for a year, and he pushed you to the playoffs. You had Kyler for maybe a year and a half, too.
Yep, Kyler was backing up.
And Kyler then you had
Kyler had 1 season that he
one season. Like you played at Texas Tech, you played at Oklahoma, and then you had Baker for about 2.
Baker had 2 seasons, 2 great seasons too.
That's ridiculous. Like to look at it, like I get it. I bash Oklahoma because of what they do in the playoffs every year. I bash Oklahoma for the conference that they're in.
Those are fair bashes. I want to put that's very fair. Those bashes I can take, but
I can't bash Lincoln Riley because the men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, and his numbers don't lie. Like, look what I can do. Oh, your son's a quarterback? Oh, he wants to play baseball for a little while? Yeah, I'll take him. That's fine. Don't worry about it. I got you. Like, his recruiting is a lot like – I don't even know who I would compare it to because I don't think there's anybody I can compare it to because he can come in the living room and just say, hey, look, you got other ambitions. There's other things you want to do. I get that. I respect it. You can do that. Just give me 2 years. That's all I want. That's it. That's all I want is 2 years out of you. And then I'll let you pick what you want to do for the rest of your life. That's crazy.
So here's my swerve. So it really was to just kind of highlight that. I just want to set the table now early because I've done very well. Like I always say in the show, America, I will always apologize when I'm wrong. So I'm good. So I'm setting the table now at 9. That I'm still sticking to my guns on how I felt about both these guys. I liked Baker Mayfield coming out. I've liked his change in attitude, and I think it's the reason why they've hung in there the way they've hung in there. Plus, he's got Chubb and Hunt. Let's call that what it is. That can get you there.
Yeah.
You play action off that and don't turn the ball over, you can get there with them 2 guys. But here's something that people don't talk about. And it's funny to see that we mentioned Kyler Murray, obviously, in the last segment, just talking about Patrick. Everybody, and I like to say this because I know for a fact I wasn't the one that said it's not going to work. I was like, I think he's the right guy for who they went and drafted. Cliff Kingsbury needs to have more credit than he gets. Because here's what I don't hear the shows do. So we talked about Patrick Mahomes, right? Extensively for 35 minutes, maybe even longer. We don't have a clock when it's me and you. I can't tell. I just
No.
talk to you. Patrick Mahomes is a Cliff Kingsbury guy.
That's right.
Baker Mayfield is a Kingsbury guy.
That's right.
Kyler Murray is a Cliff Kingsbury guy. And
That's
here's
right.
the bottom line about Cliff Kingsbury. Could he coach at Texas Tech? The record says no. He was 5 games under 500. They went to 2 bowl games. He was a little indecisive here or there. I mean, he did let Baker Mayfield walk for Davis Webb. You know, Davis Webb won him a bowl game. May not have been the best thing, but Cliff recruited these guys. So maybe we should give the Arizona Cardinals a little bit more credit for what they knew they had to do. Because they drafted Josh Rosen the year before, and everybody was like, And you had to go through that down there. You went through it so much, they had Jay Cutler down there too. My boy. So, we just missed, and I feel bad for Steve Wilkes, like I really do. Because what a horrible situation to be put into. You don't even know if that's the guy Steve Wilkes wanted. And they went 3-13, and they said, you know what? Throw it out, because we're going to be the number one pick. We're going to be a number one pick this year. And this kid
has
something that we haven't quite seen. He's not as fast as Lamar, but he throws the ball further than Baker.
Mm-hmm.
And he's short. And and here's the thing about Kyler that I appreciate, because people don't believe it unless they talk to me and know this. Kyler has a Napoleon's complex. And you can tell by the way he plays football.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And I had it. And I had a Napoleon's complex growing up. And I actually I don't have it anymore because my soon-to-be wife is gorgeous, so I won. Real talk. I want to shout out our photographer, Anthony. Chris, I'm going to tell you this story, tell America this story. My mother saw our engagement photos. She called me back. I was half asleep. She FaceTimed me. That's how I know this was serious. Okay. My mom was old. Okay. Everybody loves Sarah.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
FaceTime me in tears and said, you guys look so gorgeous together. Basically, Callie makes you look so good in those pictures. You look so happy, and I'm just so happy for you. That's how I know my girl's fine. Now, back to the topic at hand. Let's shout out, babe. Been a minute since I shout out. Back to Kyler. Kyler plays that way, and I know that mentality of, you don't think I'm good enough, because I know what that felt like. I had to play next to 5-star guys on an all-star. I was basically playing an all-star team. NFL guys that had CFL experience, A1 money, driving blue Sigma-colored Chevrolet pickup trucks, Benzos and Beamers and all sorts of stuff. And what I literally had a paper bag. I came to a paper bag and was like, you know what? I'm going to show these dudes that I get where they come from. But last I checked, I'm the best player in this league. And Kyler Murray plays that way. He plays that way like, you know what? Y'all think it's not a game. Like, y'all thinking that I'm just out here like trying to Bo Jackson. No. I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. And I think Cliff gets a lot of credit because Baker comes from Baker's got that same.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes. Guys, he wasn't a 5-star.
Nope.
He was like a 3.
He was not.
He was like a 3-star.
3? Yeah.
Kyler Murray's the only one I think that was a 4 or 5-star. Like Kyler Murray was I think Kyler Murray might have been a 5-star, and he chose Tech because he felt like he was going to be able to play both efficient.
I think you're right.
5-star. Baker was like a 2-star.
He was a three guy,
and got like Texas Tech was his only real D1 look. And Pat was the same way, and this kid's the son of he's the son of a baller. So I mean, everybody wants to, it's all about. It's easy, for somebody even like me that says, I knew this was going to work. I didn't say that it was going to work or wasn't going to work. But we don't look at the body of work sometimes, Chris. Like we look at we live in such an instantaneous place.
Instant gratification, baby.
And people just saw Cliff Kingsbury and said, oh, but you kind of look and you go, well, if you look at it from the angle of probably what Arizona, they said, well, he found Mahomes. Mahomes was his whole project. Like he coached Mahomes to being the number 10 overall pick. Like Cliff Kingsbury did that. So
yeah.
They said, well, can he do that with Josh Rosen, or do we just start from scratch? And how do we take the kid that he's had a relationship with since he was 17 years old?
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So
let me hit on a couple.
Why have they made the jump? And then hold on, and then I'll let you get back in there.
Yeah.
And then, like we talked about it, why have they made the jump? Coach O. We talked about Coach O. Yeah, they went and got DeAndre Hopkins. You know why? Because Cliff Kingsbury said, "Yeah, I don't need a David Johnson.
No,
to help this kid. I need DeAndre Hopkins. That's why I traded him." And they took the trade, and now everybody's back. The Bill O'Brien bash. Like people, and here's the other thing about people. Like they want to shit on Bill O'Brien. They act like Bill O'Brien ain't got Super Bowl rings.
Hold on that one. Bill O'Brien does have Super Bowl rings. Under who though?
No, Chris, I don't care. I know. You asking me like I don't know. I'm the statistician of this group. The fact that you actually knew all those records was absolutely
it was drunk intuition. Let's be honest. That's all it was.
I watch NFL every week. I got a show to do, bro. You gonna try to cross me up on 6 teams, and my team is one of them.
My team's one of them.
I know every team that's 6-3 because my team is 6-3. I know who we fighting. I know what I'm doing. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So let me hit you with this. Whereas I'm gonna hit you with a couple of things now. I'll be quick because I don't want to run all the time. The Bill O'Brien bashing is justified. I don't give a damn what you say.
I didn't say it wasn't justified, but like the dude. I mean, what treated like so? It's like but he's a Belichick guy. So
he's a Belichick guy.
What would Bill do? He would trade and not pay DeAndre Hopkins. But you got to also remember.
Yeah.
Your young star needs somebody to depend on.
Exactly.
I like Will Fuller when he's healthy. I like Brandon Cooks when he used to be healthy and before 5 concussions. I didn't like Randall Cobb until he left Green Bay. Let's just call it what it is. I hate him.
That's personal, though. That's all personal. That's all personal.
Has Randall Cobb really been Randall Cobb since he left Aaron Rodgers?
No.
Go ahead now. Make your point. I'm sorry.
So it's something to say. Because honestly, I love Lincoln Riley. I love Cliff Kingsbury because if you're an athletic quarterback, if you're a quarterback who has something to prove, like if you're just a quarterback who has the arm and fits what they want as coaches, coordinators, they're going to let you play. They're going to let you shine. And when you do, they'll give you all the credit. And when you don't, they'll take all the blame. So as a former college guy, I can do nothing but appreciate that. So Cliff Kingsbury, Lincoln Riley, they're player coaches. Like they love their guys and they give them everything that they need to be productive. So if you're a big arm quarterback and you need a deep threat, all right, I'll give away this running back to get you what you need. I'll give them away because you need a receiver and a tight end. I'll go get you something like that. Okay, you want to play baseball for a little while? No problem. Do it. Make sure you're lifting. Make sure you're running. Come see me when you're done. Player coaches they're hit or miss, but more times they're home runs than anything else because you got to think one of the best player coaches of all time is Pete Carroll. I know we bring everything back to us, but that's what we do. This is our show, so we're going to fuck you. You don't like it?
There's the first F-bomb, America.
My bad. I told you, I tried. I mean, look what my cup is. So it's not my fault. Dude, I took a visit to USC my 12th grade year, just knowing like, all right, I'm not going to University of Southern Cal. Like, there's no way on God green earth I'm leaving Jacksonville, Florida for Southern California. No, I'm not doing it. Until I got there. And once again, we won't go into everything that happened because we got Bays, who's a brother of the show, and I don't know how much the stipulations and I don't know what can come back on me and anybody else. Let's just say I had a blast, first of all. Especially, I'm 18 in LA with limitless funds and like no responsibilities. Anyway,
you probably met Will Ferrell too, or something like that.
Oh, dude, I met Badass from Death Row Records.
Oh, that's
like exactly. Like we went to, mind you, I'm in a club like a club in LA, shit faced at 18 years old in VIP section, just doing it up. I had a lot of fun.
They were the Miami.
Yes.
They were the U of the West. Like them Pete Carroll years, because that's what Pete wanted. Good, keep going now.
But my recruiting host was Dominique Bird. Yeah.
Yeah, Dominique was good player. Good player.
And he was a big deal, and I found out how big of a deal he was because your boy had a blast. But all that to say, for those of you who don't know how this works, like Friday you meet like all the coaches. Now it's kind of high and by thing or whatever, and then you go out with the players. Saturday morning, you typically go in and go see like the head coach and your position coach.
Yeah.
Mind you, I am shit-faced.
Yeah.
I go in and I see Pete Carroll, and like he's sitting there behind his desk. I got my mom with me, and like I'm trying to hold it together. Pete Carroll then takes my mom out. It's like, hey, Miss Sharon, allow me to let one of my assistants show you like the study lab and this and that. And my mom's like, oh, that'd be great. That's awesome. Pete Carroll comes and sit back down. It's like, hey, listen, I can tell you had a good time last night. You can study whatever you want to study when you get here. We want you as a player. We want you as a student. We'll talk about that later. How about you take a nap and drink this water? I lay down on the couch and took a nap and drank the water. I woke up. Their defensive line coach was Ed Ogeron, who, by the way, I hate with a passion now, but I still love the man to death. Coach O talked to me for about 25 minutes. I understood maybe 3 minutes of it because as bad as he talks now, it was even worse 18 years ago. So you're going to use your hands and you so it goes to show like player coaches make players better. If you feel comfortable as a player with your coach, you will run into a brick wall all game long because you know what? This dude said this is going to work, so I'm going to do it. So what he's done for those guys, what he's doing for Kyler in Arizona, like their ceiling is ridiculous because let's be honest, Larry Fitzgerald could have retired 2 years ago and nobody would have said anything. Nobody. But for Larry Fitzgerald to come back and say, you know what? I'll take a little pay cut. I'll run with the kid.
He's going to play till he's 40 because I think he knows.
And he doesn't that's the thing about it. He doesn't have to. His legacy is solidified. Like, it's put a stamp on it.
I feel about Larry. Larry
Exactly.
me personally, and what he means to a lot of us, man. Larry's the last, as Shaq would say, the last Dundada.
Exactly.
Larry's the last Dundada of our generation in that league, of our college era.
Of our guys, yeah.
Larry's it. It's like Larry and Andrew Whitworth.
And that's what I'm saying. For somebody to come back for a coach that he's probably just about the same age as, maybe not older, and just look at it like, you know what, dude? I believe in you. And you got.
I need Larry to hold on, because then I have to start technically like quietly rooting for Aaron Rodgers because we're the same age and shit. Like, I ain't trying to do that.
And that's the thing, like
football player minutes go back, man. He's still holding on. He's class of 01. He's still holding on. Man.
Like to buy in as a player to a coach it's astronomical, dude. Like, I can't say it enough. And like the final thing to bring up egos, like, you may have had a Napoleon complex, and it's clear that Kyler has. Like, it's very clear that he has one.
No, ain't no man with me, Chris. Like, I've done the diagnostics on who I became as a football player, because at least you met me over 200 pounds. I came into this game, my first varsity game, I was about 6'2", close to the same height. I listed myself at 165. I don't know if I was 165. Come on, man. You know them pads were looking big as hell on me.
Yeah.
I have no traps. The neck was all like, I don't even know how you do the neck when you ain't got no traps.
Dude, here's the thing about me, and I'm sure America already knows. Like, if you've known me longer than 33 seconds, then you know this. I came into life with a godlike complex.
Yeah.
I have been obnoxiously arrogant since 1989. Period. I remember, here's the thing, in Florida, before it became popular everywhere else, it was popular in Florida to transfer high schools for athletics. So I transferred from the neighborhood school to the football powerhouse because, let me see where I'm actually at with these guys. And my first day in camp, I came in. Let me tell you about the offensive line for the Ed White Commanders at that time when I transferred in. Had the number one offensive tackle in the country.
What year did you transfer in there?
I transferred there in 2000.
Okay.
So they had the number one offensive tackle in the country who was an 11th grader. I was a 10th grader, and like, he was already number one. Okay. They had the number 5 offensive guard in the country. They had the number 10 center in the country. They had the number 3 guard in the country. And then the other number 5 tackle in the country. I'm not done. They had the number 1 tight end in the country. I roll in. I don't have anything to my name, blah, 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 whatever. And like the tackle set me down because he ended up going to Florida State, and he's who talked to me in the Florida State. Shout out to Big Luck, my big brother, Ronnie Lumford. He sat me down and said, dude, listen, you ain't got to say nothing. You walk out here with this green and gold on, you hit somebody in their face a couple times, watch some stars go up. I had no idea what that meant until my first game. I had a couple sacks, and I went from not rated to like 4 stars in the 11th grade. So my arrogance, of course, went from like, oh, man, I just want to play football to, all right, I'll be here Friday. Fuck practice. Period. So, yeah, I've been a godlike asshole. Matter of fact, let's make it even more relative. When you met me, I was a godlike asshole because I came in. I flew in and like they were finishing practice and like my plane landed late. And I walked in like long sleeve t-shirt. I had to go buy clothes because it was cold as shit. Walt comes up being like Mr. Personable, like, hey, I'm new on the team. You're new on the team. Let's be friends. Man, if you don't get your linky ass away from me, dude, do you not know who the fuck I am?
And I didn't know who he was at all. I was like, oh.
And like
his name was
he
Chris
looked at me
That's
like
all I knew.
he looked at me like, okay, dude, well, whatever. We're gonna be friends anyway. Like, all right, man, whatever. Just going on. Like this. Go find you something to do. Like I'm not playing with you right now.
Oh, I had plenty to do, man. I was still getting into game shape with Robert. You know I had plenty to do. You were watching that shit.
So, but then like of course, like I watched Walt work, and then I got to hang out with Walt, and then me and Walt got to talking, and then it's why you have what you have right now, folks. All I'm saying is, great coaches make good players better. I.e., it'll make that 3-star quarterback whose dad played baseball a Super Bowl MVP and possibly, arguably, may go down as the best quarterback in the game.
Dude, he's got 100 touchdowns through 40 games.
That's crazy.
Dang. Come on, man. So, I mean, it all came back to Mahomes, which was not the goal, but
I know, but it does. It does.
I think the theme of this show, and I think when we get to our last segment, which is I know one that you really wanted to make sure that we touched on this week with our content that has been just doing
That's what we do.
I've heard some things, and I've been was very pleasantly surprised and looking forward to the future because I feel like things are happening. So Screwball, I'm telling you right now, you better come on. You better come on. But I will say this much. It's all about giving roses, man. Like, I think there's been so much negative energy in the world, and I think there's the right time to bash certain things. Like, we had a ball bashing things about Thanksgiving because they rightfully need to be bashed. Or depending on what you were talking about. But we're so quick, especially in the game of football, where everybody and they mama really, really thinks it's that easy to do certain things or accomplish what some of these guys have done.
No,
it's
not.
I'm barely able to speak the things I can speak of. The only validity I have is that I played with so many high caliber players and NFL players that my words actually mean something. That's the only reason why I talk the shit that I talk, America. I didn't even talk like this around my teammates in Division II because they were the biggest assholes I knew. And I can't wait to all y'all at my wedding because you guys were all dicks to me. And you know you were. But I love you, and I hope you're watching. I doubt they are, but it's all right. And to make sure that you're able to get their respect, and I think that's what I see with the Baker Mayfield. I see it with Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's insane with Patrick Mahomes. Like, he honestly feels like he is not respected. And that is the scariest thing in the world.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, to me, it's always like this now generation of young kids, unfortunately, are defined by the LeBron makeup. And I think that's really made for an interesting. I think Mahomes having the dad that he had has, he loves LeBron, I'm sure. I'm sure they probably tight and drink wine together. But, Pat was playing baseball when Michael was prime. Pat's a Jordan kid. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day.
Exactly.
And Kyler's dad was a hell of a player. Kenny Hill was a hell of a player.
Yep.
At A&M himself was a really, really good football player. And Baker Mayfield is like I think I've used it for like the little engine that could. Like, that's Baker, man. Like, oh, they don't believe in me? Watch. And that is from a different era. Like, this era is it's quiet as kept. It is. Chris Turner and I are from the same era. But Chris Turner, to me, like hearing him kind of talk about that. It's things that I kind of knew, but hearing him explain it, and of course he should feel that way. If you're making plays in practice against that type of O-line as a defensive lineman, and then you go out there and you make your plays, and the next thing you know, you've got 50 schools interested in you.
Exactly.
As an underclassman, yeah, you have the right to think that it's how it is. And that's what this era really represents. It's an era of you've done a little bit and you gain a lot. And I think Chris described it perfectly in what's happened. And the throwbacks are the Mahomes. That's 25. Baker Mayfield is like 26.
I think so. 26. Yeah, 26. I think actually 20.
He's
I wouldn't even give him 27 yet.
Yeah. Mahomes. Yeah, like they're about the same age. Deshaun's 25. Kyler Murray's 23 years old. And these guys, they, and for me, if I was a coach in this era, and then we'll kind of get out of here because we want to pass some more roses to another guy that we did touch on another show, but like really talk about his impact and what it does mean in today's game. You look at a guy like Kyler Murray, and you look at these guys, and I would say to any coach, like from here on out, I would make it a requirement to watch The Last Dance. I was watching it again today. And there's an ability to, teach the kids like, okay, I don't need you to be an utter and complete asshole. Like that was him. He didn't know any other way. But that ability to, I'm going to win at all costs, outside of alienating you, that's what I can speak to being that type of player. Because how do you become friends with a guy that didn't want to be friends with anybody? And I didn't even force myself. Like he's the one.
No.
America, I can tell you this. After he did that, cool, but I just was still me. He tells me stories of that I forget. Like, yeah, you used to always come up to me. I'd be chilling minding my business, and you would seek me out. And I was before. And I love like when he tells me stuff that I forget, because like 09 was I had
a drunken blur. It was a drunken blur.
I had a great time, man. Like I was sober when I needed to be sober, but when I didn't have to be sober, which might be the reason why I never made it to the league. I don't know. Maybe they knew like. I don't know. This kid, he likes the sauce. I know he catches up. Starting to make sense now, Chris. No. But my favorite story of him, like when you tell the story about how you were sitting in the lobby and like I was going out and I tried to get you to go out and I was already like hammered. And I was like, I don't even remember doing that. But that's funny because at me at that age at 26, it was, when we were in those walls, like, and I hadn't even come up with this Mr. Saturday Night persona. It was just we practiced.
No.
And I knew like I was practicing with some of the best players I had ever played with in my life. Like there were dogs like everywhere. And it's like, I got to make sure like they got to know like I get it. And they don't really, a lot of these guys didn't know who I was, but they need to know like, in my mind, I'm the best player on this team. But it didn't stop me. I didn't have to be the guy. Luckily I had Chris for that. Like Chris Dixon handled all that shit.
Yeah.
That was a great situation. I always was lucky to be in situations, Chris, where I didn't have to go to that Jordan side because I tried it once. This is a true story. I've told it to different people, but I would tell it here, just because we have the time, thanks to just the two of us.
Yeah.
The first time I ever played Sioux Falls, and Sioux Falls, me being a true IFL guy, UIF guy, that was your pinnacle. My 07 year, I was the most improved player and unanimous all-star and was like starting to make my name in the indoor game. And I never got to play against those guys. And these guys are the reigning champs. And They took Lexington, took them to the brink, and they beat Lexington. Like the score was like 72-6. Eerily similar to our score with St. Louis. It was like that type of game, except we had control the whole game. These dudes were trading touchdowns back and forth. It was a hell of a game. I remember watching. So when I saw they were our first game on the schedule that year, I said, this is it right here. This is the game. Like, you got to let the whole world know, because Sioux Falls was sending guys to camps all the time.
Yep.
They had our boy James Terry, and I knew JT. I still, like, JT is my guy. And I was like, dude, I used to use JT on college football. JT, hey, you'd be Sproles, option, L. Roberson, shout out L. Roberson. You run the option Sproles, you fake the option, you come back, you hit JT. JT had like a 90 speed on there and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so JT was I knew about him. I knew he had played in the league before he got to Sioux Falls, and I was like, this is my matchup. They got James Terry. Like, I got to come out here. They got all these guys. Like, I got to do what I have to do. So it was one of them crazy days. Like, my grandfather's memorial was the same day, Chris. Go ahead. You cut me off. Go ahead.
Let me I want to do two things real quick.
Yeah.
One is serious. One is serious. The other is some bullshit.
Yeah.
First of all, NCAA college football, you need to come back. All right.
Well, yeah, y'all got that money off them. I know you got a check too. You ain't shit.
But here's the thing. In 02, I'm gonna watch my language. 02, you screwed me over. All right. So first of all, you made my speed like a 78, which is great. I ain't mad at that.
Oh, that's great. That's
right. That was
for D-line. You right over, chasing some things down.
So like my speed was a 78. My strength was a 48. So you got to explain some stuff to me. Fast forward 2004 when I'm with Alabama, you got me again. Now my speed is a 61 and my strength is like an 89. Which, let's be honest, it may have been accurate, but I need my speed high. My speed needs to be in the 70s, okay? Let's be honest. Let's just be honest about it. My speed should have been like at least in the 70s. But I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter about it at all.
Dude, at least you was on the game, bro.
Secondly, honestly, I feel like there's three types of coaches, and every type of player knows the type of coach that they need. All right. And as a player, if you get stuck with the wrong coach for what you need, you will never optimize exactly the type of player that you can be. So there's three types of coaches. There's the Pete Carroll type. Player coaches, fun-loving, they get the work out of you, and you don't even realize how hard you're working. I'm not that type of player. You got your Phil Jacksons, who can outthink Nostradamus himself. I'm not that deep. I'm a real topical person, so I'm not that type. Then you have your Nick Saban types, where it's the hellfire and brimstone, it's the yelling, it's the my way or the highway, it's the cursing, it's the in your face, the helmet grabbing, the helmet slapping. As a player, and if you look at my career, even from a little kid, my best seasons have been with those type of coaches. Think about it. 09 to 2010, when I got here, we won 2 championships because O'Neal looked at me and told me, like, hey, you got to play today or I'm going to send you home. Like, that's what I need. Like, that, as a player, you know the type of coach that you need. Now, I don't feel as though a lot of kids these days know the type of coach that they need because they're afraid to find out. And when you're afraid to find out what you need to push yourself, you will never optimize your talent the way it needs to be.
I like that analogy. And I think it helps me finish up the story of the Sioux Falls game, because I don't think it's a matter of the type of coach. I think it's about having the mentality of what type of player do you want to be. And I see that's the thing. Michael Jordan won MVPs under Doug Collins and Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, and Dean Smith, because he was College Player of the Year. He won. He was the best player awarded 3 different styles. Dean Smith was as calm and as God-fearing but tough than anybody. Doug Collins challenged, Doug Collins thought, me and Michael used to go at it. Like I'm going to piss him off. And then you had Phil Jackson was like, Mike, we're going to do yoga. We're going to do what? Mike, you going to pass. I'm going, what? So to me, it's the player, which brings me to the conclusion of the story is when we got to that game, Chris, you're talking about a guy that didn't sleep the night before. My grandfather had been buried 2 months before. They did a Chicago Memorial game day, the same day. Bloomington to Chicago, 2.5 hours away.
Yeah.
Had to ride a train in the morning, speak at my grandfather's vigil, go get food and stuff for the after. My dad had to drive me back, slept in the car maybe 45 minutes, got to the our games are at 7. I basically missed the pregame meal. I got there like 5:30, ate like some spaghetti or some shit they had left over for me. Because at least by then I was big game James by that point. They're like, oh, Walton's not here. Let's save him a piece of chicken. So didn't even really warm up, caught passes. But in my head, I was like, but it doesn't matter what was going on with me. This is the game I circled because I have to show the world. And in my mind, IFL was the world. That I'm one of the best players in this league, if not the best wide receiver in this league. Like, it has to happen today. I caught 4 passes in that game, Chris. They were all touchdowns. My first 3 catches in that game were touchdowns. So to me, what it always comes down to when it comes to this shit, and when it comes to all of it, and maybe what Cliff is starting to figure out with his guys, or what it was with you or any player, and why I say you need to watch The Last Dance, because I'm a disciple of Jordan. I could never take it to that level, and that's maybe the reason why I'm not a millionaire, and I'm okay with that, because I would rather honestly have my friends and build my empire with my best friend, because it's happening. Like it or not. It'll be nice when we don't have to talk about ourselves, and we get paid to talk about other people all the time and interview.
Yeah.
Because you're going to realize we're the funnest interview of all time.
Facts.
So I'm good with that. But I will say this as a coach, these kids that are coming up, you need to understand where this dude was the greatest of all time. And when you hear people that hated him say, well, he demanded out of us, and if he's the best player on the team and he's working that hard, see, that's the things that'll, but to defend you, there ain't nothing like growing up playing high school football in Florida. Y'all, that's a whole.
That's the whole topic by itself.
How is that not they got Friday Night Tykes, and that's all cute. We're just getting the Muck City documentary, which I need to sit down and watch. Probably next week I'll sit down and watch that. But Florida football should have been its own reality. Like, you talk about the Jersey Shore having legs.
So
you know what type of reality show like the Florida, how they had the 2-a-days with Hoover, and that show was cool to watch that. But I know you were like, man, they ain't got nothing to us. I'll call a spade a spade. Do we need to produce a show about high school football in Florida?
I could.
Why don't we?
Honestly.
Can we just get rich?
I've been getting paid to play football since I've been 8 years old. Like, I remember the dope boys coming to the Pop Warner games, and they betting on the games and everything. And then, like, if you make a big play, guess who's coming up to you? Big Shug come up to you like, hey, take this $40 real quick. You just want me $500. Okay, thank you, I guess. I'm 9 years old. I don't know nothing about this. And
that's the thing about it, and we ain't trying to get the dope boys in trouble. We just trying to talk about, like,
it's serious.
Like that Muck City, I think, it's not getting the pub. I think it's tough because of just the way it's been.
Yeah.
That Muck City is just one of many boroughs. I like,
and that's the thing.
Borough. with because it needs to be identified like there's different sections of Florida football.
There
depending
is
on
two
where you're
different
at.
types.
And the whole state has got a bunch of boroughs, dude. Like Muck City's just one place.
There's two different types, and then it will end this when we get to the final. But there's two different types of Florida football. All right, there's South Florida football, and then there's North Florida football. Mind you, the same amount of money is in both. Now, in North Florida football, it's hit you in the mouth. I'm bigger than you. I'm stronger than you. Like, we're going to run the ball all game long between the tackles. Let's see what happens. South Florida football is jet sweeps and tosses and Hail Marys, and it's speed and it's fun and everything else. And it's still the same amount of dope boys in the game and everything else. Florida football is just a different beast. Like, I take nothing away from Texas. I take nothing away from California.
No, not at all.
Georgia.
Like, and
I take nothing away from any of
those.
those.
Are great states, but Florida, Little Tykes is entertaining itself. Like, I can't imagine, and maybe that's why they can't do the show in Florida. Like, I mean, how many times can you hit the boop, boop?
And that's the thing, like. Real Florida, and I don't want to give away too much because then I end up saying somebody's name, and then there's already cases against these people. But
don't do that.
Yeah. But Florida football.
Stop talking about cases. We know what you're trying to make.
But Florida football is just something different, dude. Like, you got to think about it. Florida football is year round. It's not just, y'all play football in the fall. No. Before anybody else had passing camps and spring football, we had that. And you have a real season. Like, there's no spring football. You have a real season in the spring. 7-on-7 camps? Nah. You got a real football season for 7-on-7. And then you got 7-on-7. So Florida football is a job from the time you turn 5 years old, because there is no flag football in Florida. Mm-hmm. As soon as you're able to pay that fee and get your doctor's waiver, you putting pads on, you putting a helmet on, because flag football ain't what's not going to get you paid on Sundays. And your mama know that. So there is no, let's put a flag on and learn the game so they can pull flag. No, you put these pads on. Y'all got 50 yards. Go make something happen. But I may look into producing like a real Florida football show.
Look, man, I'm not even from Florida. This is all I can tell you. We're going with his next segment. My Dukes talked about moving us down to Florida when I was going into high school. And I said, I don't want to go. Because I was like, I don't think I'd be able to get on the field. Because when I was growing up, I used to always hear the saying, I think it was my boy Lamar Adams. Like, they would play college football, NCAA game back when it was on the PS.
Oh yeah,
the PS1, the old school great joint. When Tekken was like the best game ever that came.
Yep.
He used to always like play with Florida State, and he'd go, "Man, there's something in that water in Florida." I used to believe that because I don't know what's in the water in Florida, but it's that you don't get a character and or a football player anywhere else like that. And I agree with Chris because he would know better. The North Florida, South Florida, I'm sure. But all y'all are built very eerily similar.
Yeah.
From the neck up. It's a special. America, if you never got to have a Florida football teammate,
you're missing out.
You ain't played no football. I'm talking like you need a Chris Turner type. That's the best way I'm gonna put it. I loved playing all my teammates from Florida. I love them because y'all are wild, boy, in all the right ways. And thank you for the championships too, by the way.
Man, thank you, bro.
We're coming back with another episode. You'll know what it is just based on our hats and our shirts. But hey, I guess we got some legs out of Baker and Kyler, so that'll be fun to see how this stands up. And as he's pointing to that hat, he's just letting you know what's good, America.
What's good, America?